Hello and welcome to Soul GPS. Today I'm coming to you from Egypt, sitting right on the Red Sea in Marsa Alam, beautiful place where my mom and I decided to escape to for a couple of weeks so that we can get some sun after a very, very long winter and some relaxation. But I did want to take the time to bring you some of this beautiful energy and talk to you about something that is an issue that plagues a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse, a lot of targets of narcissistic abuse, and that is nightmares. So there is a technique that I have used on myself, and it works like a charm. It's very simple, it's extremely effective. And I wanted to tell you that if you are someone who's dealing with this, if you are someone who's been through the narcissistic abuse nightmare, somebody who has been through the rumination, who can't stop thinking about it, and you find that those thoughts, this anxiety, all of these emotions, the confusion, the gaslighting comes out in your dreams, then this could help you. This technique I'm going to give you is going to help you, at least to free you from the night terrors. Because during the day is a whole other story, right? But that's not something I'm going to talk about in this video. So what is this technique? So this technique is really simple. It's basically journaling and reframing. That's what it's based on. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of how I used it, how it worked for me, and the examples of nightmares that I have had when I was in a relationship with narcissist, or I got re-triggered by something else. Sometimes something that I didn't even, that didn't float into my awareness. I didn't become fully aware of why, even though everything in my life is going really well, I'm having these nightmares. And these nightmares would come up and last for days, sometimes for weeks. And that's what triggered me to, or inspired me, catalyzed me to look for solutions. So back when I was with the narcissist, years ago now, what I noticed that had happened, even though I was still in the early love bombing relationship, although even at very early stages, there is still some devaluation. There's still, the red flags are showing up. The criticisms are creeping in. So it doesn't make for a fully pleasant experience. You'd rather have these adrenaline spikes of euphoria and elation, and then these mini crashes, right? So I was already in that stage. These mini crashes, exhaustion from having to be constantly available for this person, not being able to get a full night's sleep because I was thinking, my mind was busy trying to figure out the story, which was not adding up. You're familiar with all this, I'm sure. So what I would dream of, and this is something I have literally, I'm not going to say never had happened to me, but if I did have these kinds of dreams, there would be one in thousands of nights, right? It would be gory horror stories. Basically what I'm talking about is heads being chopped off, blood everywhere, and these people who are being tortured in my dreams are the people I love, which makes it for even worse experience. And then I would wake up utterly exhausted because my amygdala would be highly active during those dreams, and they would trail me throughout the day. I would think about them and they would sneak in. I would have these little mini flashbacks, right? Just remembering like this image of what I had experienced, and it would seize me like a terror in my gut, and I would recall the nightmare. So it was like that for weeks when I was in this relationship, and then also after I had left the relationship. So I was like, these relationships exhaust, as I'm sure all of you know, they are absolutely exhausting. So not too long ago, I noticed that I was having again nightmares, not like that, but they were still exhausting. I would be in a war zone, battlefield. There would be children without legs. There would be, I don't want to get too much into gory details, but I would also dream about my little sister, who I feel highly protective of, being hurt, which was a total nightmare for me. I would be dreaming about these, like swimming in these really murky waters and feeling as if something's going to pull me in. I would have these kinds of physical night terrors where I would feel like something was pressing on the covers in my bed, like something was literally pressing me into my bed, and then I would start to crawl or scream. These things. To this day, I don't know why. I do not know why it happened like that. I'm going to switch my hand because my one hand is getting sore. I didn't bring with me recording gear, so I'm just doing it with my hand. I don't even have a selfie stick, so we're going to have to do this. And so I would get these terrible nightmares. And so I started to do some research, and I found this technique, and this is the technique I want to share with you. So what do you do when you have a nightmare? Is you take a piece of paper and a pen, and I tried to do this without the paper and pen. I tried to do this on the fly in my mind. It didn't work. So you actually have to have a pen and paper. And what you do is you start writing out the dream, the nightmare. In my case, what happened was I had a dream that I was in this war zone. It was at nighttime. I was in a building without windows. It was covered by bullet holes, and my little sister was there with me, and she was terribly frightened. And I didn't know what to do, what was happening. All I knew was that I needed to jump out the window onto the street below, which was empty and riddled with dead bodies, and run, right? So I did that. I jumped out, and then I waited for my sister. I had to coax her out to run and come with me, which she did. And then we were running. We just broke out into running. We didn't know where. We just knew we needed to run. And then behind us, this young boy came out with a gun, and he was dressed in a military uniform, and he was shooting the gun at us. And then eventually, somehow, he ended up laying down on the ground. My sister got the gun, and she was pointing it at him, and I would tell her to kill him. I'm sorry that I had to tell you this dream. Hopefully it wasn't too triggering to you. And I still, to this day, I don't know where all that came from. But what I did with the reframe was I wrote it out as it started, but I gave it a different ending. So I started by saying that we were, and I used a different language, not war zone language, but rather we were in an abandoned home in the middle of the night on a tropical island. It was really hot. We were playing hide and seek. We jumped out the window, practically flying, feeling like we had superpowers. And then we started running down the street, giggling. And suddenly this boy comes out, and he's running with us, giggling too. So we have him join us, and we continue to run. We end up on the beach. And just as we get on the beach, the sun begins to rise, illuminating the water in this beautiful blue crystal color. And so we jump into the water, and we swim with the dolphins at sunrise. So you see what I did there. I started the dream. I anchored myself where the nightmare started, but I changed the language and I changed the ending. I have not had a nightmare since. And this was about 3 or 4 week marathon full of nightmares when I finally did this and discovered this. So I wanted to pass on this technique because I think it's extremely effective, and I hope it will help you. It's really simple. And if you do have nightmares after narcissistic abuse, know that that's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is trying to make sense of the experience, of an experience that makes no sense. So obviously that means it's going to have to work really hard to put all the pieces together. And so don't feel bad. Don't think that there's anything wrong with you. Know that it's a normal process of the brain purging negative memories and trying to make sense of what happened. So if you do have this experience, I would love to hear from you. Drop it down in the comments below. And also let me know if you have tried this technique. Let all of us know if you've tried this technique and what kind of effect it had on you. I hope it does have a positive effect. It frees you from the freeze state into which narcissistic abuse puts us into, and it gives you this ability to create some movement, right? That's what this does. That's what dreams are, really, is taking energy that's stuck and trying to process it. And when you are doing what I've just described, what you're essentially engaging in is taking a subconscious process that is happening underneath your level of awareness. It's coming out in the dream. You're able to catch a bit of it, pull on that thread, and now you are, with your conscious mind, redirecting it into the place where you want it to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful scene, I brought you here, and you get to have a little bit of that seaside medicine. And again, I'm looking for your comments. I'm sending you very good energy from here, from where I am. And if you're new to this channel, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you've been with me for some time, also let me know, say hello in the comments below. And if you liked this video and if it helped you, please give it a like. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful rest of your day and sweet, beautiful dreams to you. Bye-bye. Hi, I just wanted to add one thing for you. If you try this technique, it may not work the first time. So you may have to try doing it several times in a row for a week, maybe even 2 weeks, but eventually it should resolve. So I just wanted to add that to make sure that you don't feel bad if after one time the nightmares don't go away. Again, wishing you sweet dreams.